Good morning, spiritual companions. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Continuing chapter 10, Sri Ramakrishna at Siampukur. On page 440, Shyam Basu asks, Sir, what remains after one goes beyond both ignorance and knowledge? Master, Nitya Sudha Bodharupam, the eternal and ever-pure consciousness. How can I make it clear to you? A young girl once asked her friend, Well, friend, your husband is here. What sort of pleasure do you enjoy with him? The friend answered, My dear, you will know it for yourself when you get a husband. How can I explain it to you? What Brahman is cannot be described in words. One cannot describe in words the joy of play and communion with Satchidananda. He alone knows who has realized it. Addressing Dr. Sakar, Sri Ramakrishna continued, Look here, one cannot attain knowledge unless one is free from egotism. There is a saying, When shall I be free? When I shall cease to be. I and mine, that is ignorance. Thou and thine, that is knowledge. A true devotee says, O God, thou alone art the doer. Thou alone doest all. I am a mere instrument. I do as thou makest me do. All these, wealth, possessions, nay, the universe itself, belong to thee. This house and these relatives are thine alone, not mine. I am thy servant. Mine is only the right to serve thee according to thy bidding. Those who have read a few books cannot get rid of conceit. Once I had a talk with Kali Krishna Tagore about God. At once he said, I know all about that. I said to him, Does a man who has visited Delhi brag about it? Does a gentleman go about telling everyone that he is a gentleman? Shyam, but Kali Krishna Tagore has great respect for you. Master, oh, how vanity turns a person's head. There was a scavenger woman in the temple garden at Dakshineswar, and her pride, and all because of a few ornaments. One day some men were passing her on the path, and she shouted at them, Hey, get out of the way, you people! If a scavenger woman could talk that way, what can one say about the vanity of others? Shyam, Sir, if God alone does everything, how is it that man is punished for his sins? Master, how like a goldsmith you talk. Narendra, in other words, Shyam Babu has a calculating mind like a goldsmith who weighs things with his delicate balance. Master, I say, O my foolish boy, eat the mangoes and be happy. What is the use of your calculating how many hundreds of trees, how many thousands of branches, and how many millions of leaves there are in the orchard? You have come to the orchard to eat mangoes. Eat them and be contented. To Shyam, you have been born in this world as a human being to worship God. Therefore, try to acquire love for his lotus feet. Why do you trouble yourself to know 100 other things? What will you gain by discussing philosophy? Look here, 1 ounce of liquor is enough to intoxicate you. What is the use of your trying to find out how many gallons of liquor there are in the tavern? Doctor, quite so. And what is more, the wine in God's tavern is beyond all measure. There is no limit to it. Master, to Shyam, Why don't you give your power of attorney to God? Rest all your responsibilities on Him. If you entrust an honest man with your responsibilities, will he misuse his power over you? God alone knows whether or not He will punish you for your sins. Doctor, God alone knows what is in his mind. How can a man guess it? God is beyond all our calculations. Master, to Shyam, that's the one theme of you Calcutta people. You all say, God is stained by the evil of inequality because He has made one person happy and another miserable. What these rascals see in themselves, they see in God too. Shyam, we hear a great deal about the subtle body. Can anyone show it to us? Can anyone demonstrate that when a man dies, the subtle body leaves the gross body and goes away? Master, true devotees don't care a rap about showing you these things. What do they care whether some fool of a big man respects them or not? The desire to have a big man under their control never enters their minds. Shyam, what is the distinction between the gross body and the subtle body? Master, the body consisting of the 5 gross elements is called the gross body. The subtle body is made up of the mind, the ego, the discriminating faculty, and the mind stuff. There is also a causal body, by means of which one enjoys the bliss of God and holds communion with Him. Beyond all these is the Mahakarana, the great cause, that cannot be expressed by words. What is the use of merely listening to words? Do something. How can a man recognize yarns of different counts, such as number 40 and number 41, unless he is in the trade? Those who deal in yarn do not find it at all difficult to describe a thread of a particular count. Therefore, I say, practice a little spiritual discipline. Then you will know all these, the gross, the subtle, the causal, and the great cause. While praying to God, ask only for love for His lotus feet. I prayed to the Divine Mother only for love. I offered flowers at her lotus feet and said with folded hands, O Mother, here is thy ignorance, and here is thy knowledge. Take them both, and give me only pure love for thee. Here is thy holiness, and here is thy unholiness. Take them both, and give me only pure love for thee. Dharma means good actions, like giving in charity. If you accept dharma, righteousness, you have to accept adharma, unrighteousness too. If you accept virtue, you have to accept sin. If you accept knowledge, you have to accept ignorance. If you accept holiness, you have to accept unholiness. It is like a man's being aware of light, in which case he is aware of darkness too. If a man is aware of one, he is aware of many too. If he is aware of good, he is aware of evil too. Blessed is the man who retains his love for the lotus feet of God, even though he eats pork. But if a man is attached to the world, even though he lives only on boiled vegetables and rice, then, Doctor, he is a wretch. But let me interrupt you here and say something. Buddha once ate pork and as a result had colic. To get rid of the pain, he would take opium and thus become unconscious. Do you know the meaning of nirvana and such stuff? Buddha would have become stupefied after eating opium. He would have no consciousness of the outer world. This is what they call nirvana. All laughed to hear this novel interpretation of nirvana. The conversation went on. Shyam, Sir, what do you think of theosophy? Master, the long and short of the matter is that those who go about making disciples belong to a very inferior level. So do those who want occult powers to walk over the Ganges and to report what a person says in a far-off country and so on. It is very hard for such people to have pure love for God. Shyam, but the Theosophists have been trying to re-establish the Hindu religion. Master, I don't know much about them. Shyam, you can learn from Theosophy where the soul goes after death, whether to the lunar sphere or the stellar sphere or some other region. Master, that may be, but let me tell you my own attitude. Once a man asked Hanuman, "What day of the lunar fortnight is it?" Hanuman replied, "I know nothing about the day of the week, the day of the lunar fortnight, the position of the stars in the sky, or any such things. On Rama alone I meditate. That is my attitude too." Shyam, the Theosophists believe in the existence of Mahatmas. Do you believe in them, sir? Master, if you believe in my words, I say yes. But now, please leave these matters alone. Come here again when I am a little better. Some way will be found for you to attain peace of mind, if you have faith in me. You must have noticed that I don't accept any gift of money or clothes. We do not take any collection here. That is why so many people come. To the doctor, if you won't take offense, I shall tell you something. It is this. You have enough of such things as money, honor, lecturing, and so on. Now, for a few days, direct your mind to God, and come here now and then. Your spiritual feeling will be kindled by hearing words about God. After a little while, as the doctor stood up to take his leave, Girish Chandra Ghosh entered the room and bowed low before the master. Dr. Sarkar was pleased to see him and took his seat again. Doctor, pointing to Girish, of course he would not come as long as I was here. No sooner am I about to leave than he enters the room. Girish and Dr. Sarkar begin to talk about the science association established by the latter. Master, will you take me there one day? Doctor, if you go there, you will lose all consciousness at the sight of the wondrous works of God. Master, oh, indeed. Doctor, to Girish, whatever you may do, please do not worship him as God. You are turning the head of this good man. Girish, what else can I do? Oh, how else shall I regard a person who has taken me across this ocean of the world, and what is more, the ocean of doubt? There is nothing in him that I do not hold sacred. Doctor, do you think I can't take the dust of his feet? Look here. The doctor saluted Ramakrishna and touched the master's feet with his forehead. Girish, oh, the angels are saying, "Blessed, blessed be this auspicious moment." Doctor, what is there to marvel at in taking the dust of a man's feet? I can take the dust of everybody's feet. Give me, all of you, the dust of your feet. The doctor touched the feet of all the devotees. Narendra to the doctor, we think of him, meaning the master, as a person who is like God. Do you know, sir, what it is like? There is a point between the vegetable creation and the animal creation where it is very difficult to determine whether a particular thing is a vegetable or an animal. Likewise, there is a stage between the man world and the God world where it is extremely hard to say whether a creature is a man or God. Doctor, well, my dear young friend, one cannot apply analogies to things divine. Narendra, I do not say that he is God. What I am saying is that he is a godlike man. Doctor, one should suppress one's feelings in such a matter. It is bad to give vent to them. Alas, no one understands my own feelings. Even my best friend thinks of me as a stern and cruel person. Even people like you will perhaps one day throw me out after beating me with your shoes. Master, don't say such a thing. They love you so much. They await your coming as eagerly as the bridesmaid in a bridal chamber await the coming of the groom. Girish, everyone has the greatest respect for you. Doctor, my son and even my wife think of me as a hard-hearted person. My only crime is that I do not display my feelings. Girish, in that case, sir, it would be wise for you to open the door of your heart, at least out of pity for your friends, for you see that your friends cannot otherwise understand you. Doctor, will you believe me when I say that my feelings get worked up even more than yours? To Narendra, I shed tears in solitude. To Sri Ramakrishna, well, may I say something? When you are in ecstasy, you place your foot on others' bodies. That is not good. Master, do you think I know at that time that I am touching another with my foot? Doctor, you feel that it is not the right thing to do, don't you? Master, how can I explain to you what I experience in samadhi? After coming down from that state, I think, sometimes, that my illness may be due to samadhi. The thing is, the thought of God makes me mad. All this is the result of my divine madness. How can I help it? Doctor, now he accepts my view. He expresses regret for what he does. He is conscious that the act is sinful. Master, to Narendra, you are very clever. Why don't you answer? Explain it all to the doctor. Girish, to the doctor, Sir, you are mistaken. He is not expressing regret for touching the bodies of his devotees during samadhi. His own body is pure, untouched by any sin. That he touches others in this way is for their good. Sometimes he thinks he may have got this illness by taking their sins upon himself. Think of your own case. Once you suffered from colic. Didn't you have regrets at that time for sitting up and reading till very late at night? Does that prove that reading till late hours of the night is, in itself, a bad thing? He, meaning Sri Ramakrishna too, may be sorry that he is ill, but that does not make him feel that it is wrong on his part to touch others for their welfare. Dr. Sarkar felt rather embarrassed and said to Girish, I confess my defeat at your hands. Give me the dust of your feet. He saluted Girish. Doctor, to Narendra, whatever else one may say about him, meaning Girish, one must admit his intellectual powers. Narendra, to the doctor, you may look at the thing from another standpoint. You can devote your life to scientific research without giving a thought to your health or comfort. But the science of God is the grandest of all sciences. Isn't it natural for him to risk his health to realize God? Doctor, all religious reformers, including Jesus, Chaitanya, Buddha, and Mohammed, were in the end filled with egotism. They all said, whatever I say is alone true. How shocking. Girish, to the doctor, now, sir, you are committing the same mistake. You are accusing them all of egotism. You are finding fault with them. For that very reason, you too can be accused of egotism. Dr. Sakar remained silent. Narendra, to the doctor, we offer worship to him, bordering on divine worship. At these words, the master laughed like a child. End of that day. End of today's reading.